It is Thursday night, and we're only a couple of days away from Prairie Pro Wrestling Storm Warning. And so, boom, just like that, you're here to party with the Video Bros. My name's Bobby Munson, and the man sat beside me. He's the man with the angelic voice. He's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, happy Thursday. How you doing, brother?
All right, Munson. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to all the wrestling people out there. It's good to be on another episode of Ring Respect Radio, especially with the esteemed guests we have this week.
The esteemed guest indeed. Gold royalty, we could call them. It is the team of Bucky McGraw and the Dixie Dragon, known as the Brotherhood, and also better known as the new Prairie Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Gentlemen, welcome to Ring Respect Radio. Thank you for being here tonight.
Well, it is your honor to have us.
It definitely is our honor. I will agree with you there on that one. It is an honor to have you guys here. It's been, I think, far too long. We've been doing this show for a long time. We've had many guests on here, and the first opportunity to have you here, it is going to be fun. We will talk all about PPW. We'll prepare for this coming Saturday. We'll also say hi to friends of the chat like Ed, who says he's going to drop in, say hi. He's missing the show. Apparently seeing Supergirl tonight, but saying to kill it tonight. And, of course, every Thursday, it's just not a Thursday without the Mangler in the house. Mangler, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Make sure to get your questions in. I know Mangler's got tickets to PPW this Saturday. A lot of people have tickets because those seats are sold out. The general admission, we're still selling them. If you want to try to grab one, you should probably do so now because you'll get to see people like our tag team champions in action. And that's the first thing I want to know, guys, before we even go deeper than that. This Saturday, are there anybody in the back you've been looking at, wondering about who's been lurking there? Who do you think are going to step up to the plate for the very first opportunity at the new champs?
While there are many, probably in their own perception, worthy contenders, we, being backed through the power of re-education, are ready for anyone who does want to step up. We defeated very succinctly the Short Kings to claim our tag team championships, and we are ready to apply all the re-education necessary to keep those. So anyone who wants to team up and try to take us on, the Brotherhood will be ready for you.
All right. Great statement. Great statement. Papa Smokes, I'm going to go over to you to start asking a few questions. Remember, chat, get your questions in for our esteemed guests here tonight as we're talking about all things Prairie Pro Wrestling. Papa Smokes, heading your way, sir.
Well, based on what you just said, Bucky McGraw, you've got to be ready for a number of different tag teams. We've got a pretty exciting scene going on here in PPW, from Prairie to T.Y. Jackson and Phil Deadly, plus a few other great tag teams, including maybe the Short Kings might get a rematch at some point. Who do you see rising to the top of the tag team division here? Who would you like to face, and who do you think might be first up?
I would say it's hard to discount Prairie and their tandem power and athleticism. But they've yet to prove themselves as number one contenders. Dixie,
interesting.
What do you think about Phil and T.Y. Jackson?
I mean, didn't we run them over already?
Several times.
I'm sure we have faced them. I don't know. I kind of leave most of the planning to you. I hit the gym and get ready to throw people around. I mean, that's what I do best, right? Kick people in the head, beat the crap out of them. You know, that's kind of what I do. When it comes to the other teams that you mentioned, Short Kings, we've gone to war with them how many times now? I don't even think I can count on both hands how many times, between ladder matches, regular matches, Creed and I, Bucky and I, everything going back and forth. I've never faced, can I think of the name? Prairie. We've never stepped against them. So both big boys. I'm a little bigger. Could be interesting.
Like the sounds of it. Bass is in the house. Thank you for coming in, Bass, saying happy Thursday, gents. Can't wait to see all four of you on Saturday. No, Bass, we can't wait to see you on Saturday, sir. And he's got a question here, Bucky. He says, how often do you have to add chapters to your book of, he calls it a book of knowledge. I believe it's the book of re-education, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm very sorry that man cannot read. It is the book of re-education. And I am constantly drawing new lessons. I come in front of the Prairie Pro audience every time to give you a new lesson in re-education. There's always new things for all of you to relearn. And the ineptitude of that question proves that point ad nauseum.
Now, you guys mentioned before about that. In fact, Dixie, you were saying about the different pairings. It's been you and Bucky, you and Creed. There's been different variations of the tag team, and you guys were the ones to finally get it done, finally win the tag team titles. And we know we talked about this with Creed. What was the difference maker between you two going to war with these with the Short Kings and Dixie yourself and Creed going to war with the Short Kings?
Different plan, different strategy. They had faced Creed and I, again, a countless number of times. However, they have never faced Bucky and I. Bucky had a foolproof strategy. And, I mean, look what happened. We walked out with those belts around our waists.
Very true. Bob Sonks, over to you.
It just to add on to that, it seems like in wrestling sometimes the whole tag team thing is like a chemistry thing. You know, like Creed and Dixie, that's a big, strong power team. But Dixie and Bucky is a different kind of team because Bucky's more the thoughtful wrestler, the chain wrestler, the skilled wrestler. So it kind of makes an interesting team. You know, like we've seen some of these teams in the past in the big leagues, such as Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase, you know, a mismatched team, but they had strengths in some areas and strengths in different areas. That's kind of how it strikes me with you guys is there's the power and then there's the brains and the finesse on the other side.
You are surprisingly spot on, Papa Smokes. There is a different dynamic between the full brute strength of the Dixie Dragon and Jacob Creed and either of them teaming with wrestling's smartest man. I like to draw a comparison back to the Hart Foundation with the mix of the powerhouse of Jim the Anvil Neidhart and the finesse of Bret the Hitman Hart, the tank and the Porsche, and being able to make that combination work for us is what gave us the edge on the Short Kings. After they had been prepared for the heavy hitters, they were not ready for the full sophistication or the mind games of wrestling's smartest man.
All right. I've got something I got to talk about here. Last show, guys, that was the one you won the titles at, but at the same time, you also caused one of the most interesting moments in Prairie Pro Wrestling history, I would say, because at the end of the night, at the end of the show, the two of you, along with Jacob Creed, put a stop to the main event. You beat down Michael Allen, Richard Clark. You beat down Riley Cruz, and in doing so, that crowd had the most hate in their hearts that I have ever seen them have in history. The boos were deafening. They wouldn't leave the arena. They were throwing stuff. They were visibly angry for the first time ever.
And
what was the mindset there?
You're welcome.
So, unjustifiably so. They were upset. What about us? Last I checked, Jacob Creed had won the number one contendership. Riley Cruz sneaking his way in there. That is unbalancing the scales of justice. And if there is one thing that re-education values, it is fairness, it is justice. That ruining of the main event was bringing everything back into balance. All right? Riley Cruz did not deserve that title shot. That title shot belonged to Jacob. And we believe that is still due to him. A fair one-on-one match against Michael Allen, Richard Clark, so that we can bring that Prairie Pro Heavyweight Championship into the Brotherhood, along with the tag team titles.
Very interesting take on the situation, but as my recollection goes, back at Cold Hearted, Jacob Creed willingly got into a match with Riley Cruz where the idea was which one of them will be the first one to get the shot at Michael Allen, Richard Clark. And if I recall correctly, Creed's shoulders were pinned to the mat 1, 2, 3 by Riley Cruz.
That situation should never have happened. Okay? Creed justifiably, he won the Halloween Battle Royal. He was the rightful number one contender. It's not my fault that Prairie Pro Management couldn't arrange Riley Cruz's title shot from earlier. He was superseded by Jacob Creed. Jacob Creed had precedence. That match with Riley shouldn't have happened in the first place. That, another imbalance, another injustice, now corrected.
Fair. Okay. Fair enough.
You know,
we're going to go to sorry.
I just wanted to add on to the Bucky. You make a good point here, but I try and call it down the middle. But you bring up PPW management, and I mean, they have shown a number of times in the past bias against certain wrestlers in this company. Jacob Creed being one of them. If you remember back to the early days of PPW, Creed had a feud with Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and it ended in some fireworks. Was Creed fired? Did he quit? But it was a whole scene, and he stormed out of the building. And PPW management have not been fair to him. They haven't been fair to Sheik Akbar Shabazz as well. So can you speak to that? Do you think there's an existing bias going on there?
Of course there's an existing bias there. And I won't speak for Sheik. He's his own entity. I don't directly associate with him. But you can see the bias. You can see the bias that Crash has had for Sheik. And that started earlier on with Jacob Creed. While it maybe hasn't been quite as prominent or in the spotlight, again, it's enough to have put Jacob Creed in a compromising position, 2 number one contenders, even though Creed rightfully was placed at the top of the mountain for that match against Michael. It was Crash's decision to put Jacob Creed into that match with Riley. And that puts him, Crash, as equally at fault for that situation.
All right. I got a question here from Brian Carter. First of all, Brian, thanks for being here. Haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
he says, on behalf of the International LS Casino Appreciation Society, yes, this apparently is a thing. We would like to hear if there are any additional brotherhood between the masked men of PPW. So I think this is leading your way, Dixie. And does Bucky need to worry about that?
Worry about what exactly? Like, these guys, these other masked men coming after us, or trying to take
more
my
so,
spot?
I think more so if you were to have a connection, masked brotherhood connection in the background, it's.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Assassino and I have been, colleagues for, 20 plus years now. So, I mean, we've gone to war several times. So there is a mutual respect there. We've discussed it before, but Bucky and I, Creed, we've got a really good thing going right now. And nothing needs to change.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, great answer. I like that answer. Back to you, Pop Smokes.
Well, speaking of the Brotherhood, then you say nothing would need to change, but do you guys ever think about adding another person to the Brotherhood? Any thoughts of that? And who would that be around the Saskatchewan wrestling scene if you were to?
I have always kept the door open to anyone who wants to let re-education into their heart and, more importantly, into their mind. Match after match, I give our opponents the opportunity to lay down their arms, lay down in the ring, surrender peacefully, and come and join us on the path of truth. But we're constantly rejected. And I understand that. It's not easy to take that step onto the path, to let re-education permeate you and power you. But we are open to anyone, any wrestler on the Saskatchewan independent scene, whether it is a T.Y. Jackson, whether it's a Phil Deadly, whether if we can pull Levi Knight back out of obscurity, whether Cannonball Kelly wants to let re-education re-enter his being. We're willing to take in anyone who will fall in line with the Brotherhood.
I'm going to add to that saying Cannonball Kelly has history with the Brotherhood also, because we originally formed with him. So who knows where everything could tie in together.
Interesting to put that out into the universe for sure. Whether or not that would be something Cannonball Kelly would be down with. I mean, we see him all the time being loved by the PPW Nation. I don't know. Can you guys convert him? That's the interesting thing. What does it take to convert someone? What did it take to bring in Dixie and Jacob Creed, for that matter, Bucky? I mean, you were solo for so long, working the path of re-education through PPW as a solo artist, and suddenly you had two brothers by your side.
Because I am successful, because re-education works. I was winning matches. Dixie and Creed wanted to win matches, continue to win matches, become champions. Cannonball Kelly, he can get all sorts of cheers from the crowd, all that he wants. How's his win-loss record looking? It would look a lot better if it was backed through the power of re-education.
Very interesting statement for sure. Pop Smokes, anything to add?
I would also say that some possibilities for expanding the Brotherhood might lie among the young talent coming up to PPW. We've got the Prairie Pro Wrestling Academy going, and a few successful graduates from that so far, but a bunch of current students as well. I can imagine that some of those younger wrestlers, newer to the business, could really benefit from some re-education.
They certainly could, but can we benefit from them? There is a double-edged sword with the youth. There is, again, younger, more athletic in some cases, but the lack of experience, that can really come back and be a big detriment to a talent, to a group overall. If we could find the right young person that's open-minded, ready to listen, but able to apply quickly what we are teaching, they could fit into the Brotherhood. But we are not going to just take on any random schmuck, new greenhorn, hoping to hitch their wagon to us, to our shooting star of success. There has to be a degree of proving themselves.
So you wouldn't want to take on 80 greenhorns like the guys who got victories over you at Sastel Center there during the WrestleMania event. Just stating the obvious. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the last time I saw you,
those were mascots.
You were being pinned by Soup Nasty. Well, no, I mean, you were pinned by Soup Nasty earlier in the night, followed by the mascots Soup Nasty and Riley Cruz getting the better of you, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, we all saw it.
I'm pretty sure Bucky passed out from Soup Stank versus anything. Bucky would never lose to Soup. So I don't think that's anything relevant.
I remember smashing Soup's skull in several months ago, too. Caving that in with the DDT.
True. You do hold the only victory over him so far.
Now, but I'm willing to run it back with him one more time and reaffirm re-education to Soup Nasty.
Okay. Papa Smokes, I seem to have caused a little bit of friction here, so I'm sending it over to you, sir, before I get in more trouble.
Yeah, you got to watch it, Munson. We got some highly esteemed guests on here. Let's give some more respect here. These are the tag team champions.
Well, I mean, I mean no disrespect at all. Like, I'm just stating the obvious. I mean, tag team champions, yes. And guys, you've got great esteemed careers, a couple of veterans inside the ring. and you've done excellent work. You did what nobody else could. You beat the damn Short Kings. They were the first ever tag champs, over a year as the champions, and you beat them. You took the titles from them. And as far as we know, as far as what's been advertised, I don't even know if they're going to be in the building this Saturday. In fact, I'm pretty sure Mars might be, but I think Reed hasn't been seen for a while.
Nope. Our defeat of them was too crushing. I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw the Short Kings again. Too long they have fought against re-education, and it is my belief that the full weight of the inevitability of our victory has come down on them and crushed the tag team spirit right out of the Short Kings. It's only through the power of re-education can a tag team be so decimated that they disappear forever.
I believe I saw the spirit of all the children in the audience crushed that night as well, too.
Felt good. Felt really
Sure
good.
it did.
So I suppose then part of re-education could be considered not only re-educating a wrestler to improve their career and their wrestling skill, but also in this case, maybe the re-education was to Reed Matthews to just say, you aren't cut out for this business. Is that kind of where you're coming from?
Absolutely. No, everyone needs to shift their perspective a little. Lots of people have one fixed way of viewing the world, and they're not able to shift their perspective, change their mind, be able to see things multiple different ways, which is what gives me the advantage and makes me a master of re-education. I have come to try to share these perspectives and help people align themselves to the path of truth. The Short Kings should never have been the first ever Prairie Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. That was the destiny of the Brotherhood. They worked very hard to be able to try and shift the course of that river, but re-education shifted it back. They should never have been a tag team. They were not meant to be, and it was only a matter of time as they continued to try to smash up against the rock wall that is the Brotherhood before they were utterly destroyed like they have been. And we are ready to prove that to any other tag team competitor, any other single competitor, the true inevitability of re-education.
Wow.
And quick good evening to Bell Ball joining us in the chat here tonight. Let's talk about this coming Saturday, gentlemen. We talked about your thoughts on your potential opponents, who might come after you, but one thing that's still in the mind, and we talked about it, is that PPW heavyweight champion picture. Are you pushing PPW management to get Creed that singles match this coming Saturday? Are there other plans in mind? What are you guys doing to go about trying to bring all the gold and becoming the first group in history of Prairie Pro Wrestling to hold all the belts?
Absolutely. That is our number one goal, is to bring in all of the gold, heavyweight championship, tag team championship, together in the Brotherhood to exhibit the full breadth of re-education and to prove our message to everyone, to prove all those people that rejected us that they were wrong to have done so, that we are a path to success. We absolutely strongly urge the Prairie Pro Wrestling management team, whether it's just Crash, whoever else is involved in the decision making, to do what is right and to give Jacob Creed the number one contendership back, give him that one-on-one championship match that he deserves so that he can smash Michael Allen Richard Clark right into that match with a black hole slam and bring that championship back to all of us in the Brotherhood.
It's an interesting take. Interesting to see, but I wonder, are we going to get that this Saturday? Is that going to happen? Do you think management is going to budge enough to give Jacob Creed? I know he owes it. He's owed it. We've confirmed that. I agree with that. But will it happen right away? Or do you think that they're going to continue these games, as we say, to try to keep Creed away from that picture a little bit longer?
As much as I wish they would be mature and see reason and meet us at a professional level, I fully expect they're going to play more games. Now, we're ready to play nice and professional if they want, but if Prairie Pro Wrestling Management has other things in mind, if they want to play other games, we can play other games too. And with Dixie Dragon and Jacob Creed, we know how to play very, very rough.
Plain and simple.
That is for
Give
sure.
us what we want, or we're going to continue paving that path of destruction through the PPW roster. It's that simple. We're not asking for much here. We're asking for what should have been his from the get-go. So, either give it to us, or we leave more bodies in the ring.
Damn. Sounds like the age-old story of Prairie Pro Wrestling on the way to the Ring of Horrors every single year. Somebody doesn't get what they want because of management, and bodies get laid out. But sorry, I interrupted you, Bob, folks.
No, it's okay. But think about it too from the Brotherhood's perspective. It's been a long time since Ring of Horrors, since Jacob Creed earned that title shot by winning the Battle Royal.
True.
It's been all fall, all winter, and all spring, and he still hasn't received that shot. In the meantime, Riley Cruz has won a number one contenders match, and he's already gotten the match against Michael Allen, Richard Clark. So I can understand the frustration from you guys in that way. You've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, it's clear that, Crash maybe doesn't understand simple math, order of operations. I don't know what his decision-making process is, if there's others on the management team influencing him. But, again, if we followed simple logic, Riley Cruz could have had his match. It would have just been against Jacob Creed, because if Jacob Creed had his match already, he would have beat Michael Allen, Richard Clark. Riley could have come and gotten crushed again by Creed, and we'd be moving on to our next contender to be decimated by Jacob Creed.
Right. Mel says, we love Riley. And then going back to Basser, he said, maybe Crash needs to be laid out in the ring. He blames him for all of the disrespect. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Would you ever dare to lay hands on at least the one you claim as the figurehead anyway, at least the one that's shown as the figurehead? I mean, there's always these rumors of other people, management of sorts. I don't know. I don't have that kind of knowledge. I have no idea if there's other people pulling the strings behind.
Crash is certainly the most public member of the management team, and he puts himself out there. I'd say that puts him at the most danger, but we're not headstrong or foolish. We understand there may be repercussions. But if Crash crosses the line, we're prepared to take whatever measures are appropriate to rebalance those scales of justice. That's all, Crash. That's all.
That's all. Just in case he's watching. Hello to Blair, Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, Papa Spokes, Bobby Munson. What's up, fellas? Hey, how's it going, Blair? Appreciate you. Shout out to your podcast as well as Winnipeg Pro Wrestling, where you are the voice over there. Hey, Blair, would Winnipeg Pro Wrestling ever dare to bring in our tag champs, the Brotherhood, to maybe make an appearance in Winnipeg Pro? They're right here. You can always ask them. Yeah, just go over to you again, Papa Spokes. Sorry.
Sure. Well, talking about Jacob Creed's push towards the heavyweight championship, Bucky, does that put you more in the role of the manager for that kind of a match? Because we've seen you both as an active wrestler, and currently, of course, you're an active wrestler, a tag team champion. But do you take that manager's role on for Jacob Creed in the championship scene?
I take the guidance of both Dixie Dragon and Jacob Creed down the path of truth very seriously. I acted as their backer, as their floor man, as a tag team, and I am more than prepared to continue to back Jacob Creed on his singles run for that heavyweight championship. Just as I guided us towards those tag team championships initially before stepping into the ring myself to bring that to a full and complete success, so too will I help guide Jacob Creed to navigate any chicanery that continues to get in his way as he approaches his inevitable championship match and championship victory.
Do you guys know the combined experience of the three of us in the ring?
I've got a pretty good idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I might not know exactly where the two of you started 100%, but I have got a very decent idea. And after talking to Creed, I've got more idea there. But re-educate our audience because they might not know.
So I myself am rolling into 25 years. Bucky is, if I recall, around 23, 24.
23 years of wrestling
Yes,
experience.
because I remember when you started. So you figure Creed has got to be, I think, around that 12 to 15 year mark.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure you've got over 60 years almost of experience in that ring. We know how to handle our business. We know all the tricks. There isn't much PPW can do to stop us from attaining our goals. It's that simple.
That's a great statement. I mean, we've seen the rise of you guys, right? Like you came onto the scene, you came in hot, entered that tag division. I'm not gonna, maybe the Short Kings did end up inevitably taking the belts first. However, it's not that you guys didn't give a beat down to both the Short Kings and to the Clandestine Society at the time. Like those were some insanely violent matchups. And despite who the victors were, pretty sure it was the Brotherhood that were still standing on their own 2 feet pretty decently at the end of the night.
It's the inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. So back over to you, Papa Smokes. And also letting the chat know if you got questions for our guests here tonight, get them in as we speak. But Papa Smokes, over to you.
I did see someone pop up. They brought up Mentallo. And
oh, yes. Yeah, Blair.
Mentallo. The last time I was in the ring with Mentallo, he tried to rearrange my face, and I took his championships that night. So if you want to see that rematch, I would be happy to treat Mentallo to another dose of re-education. I haven't forgotten that last interaction.
All right. There you have it, Blair. The challenge has been laid down there. Make it happen, my friend. Right. We know you can pull some strings over there in WPW. Sorry, Pop Smokes.
Well, I had a question. I've always been interested in the book of re-education. As from when you first started coming out with the book, I was curious about it. I'd like to read some of it. I'd like to know what some of the tenets of the book of re-education are. You can go into those if you want to, but I also have heard, now this isn't me saying this, but I've heard some fans say that it's the physical book, not the words in it, which really gives you guys the advantage. What do you say to fans that say that?
I'd say that they are misaligned, as I spoke about earlier. People have a certain perception of things, and they can't break themselves away from that frame of thinking and sometimes understand the grander picture or have a higher understanding of what's going on in front of them. The book itself, it contains very advanced ideas and understandings of how to alter your perception and your mindset. And it is far above what the average person can understand just walking in off the street. It's like if any of those poor average out of shape fans decided to come into a gym, they're not going to just pick up and start curling a 150-pound dumbbell. That's what it would be like jumping right into the book of re-education. They have to start smaller, and that is where Jacob, Dixie, and I are trying to help them by giving them these demonstrations of re-education at every show. We are trying to break the ice. We're trying to start to get them thinking differently. We are telling them what's going to happen in these matches. We are trying to show them that we're telling the truth, so that when I am ready to drop a true gem of knowledge on them from the book of re-education, they are a receptacle that is ready to receive that sort of higher knowledge. We haven't made it that far yet. The Saskatoon crowd is incredibly resistant, but they are not as resistant as I am persistent. So I will continue to fight for your re-education, Saskatoon. I know that I can make all of you better.
And
Wow.
just rewind a second there on what you said, Bob's books. Were you asking to be able to be introduced to the book of re-education? Like, are you extending your hand here to our guests? Like, I'm a little confused here, brother. I've known you a long time. Not so sure I knew this was coming.
Well, I told you I'm curious about it. I can see that there's a winning ways contained within that book. I can see that there's a great deal of wisdom, and Bobby Munson, I'm looking at a guy like you, like you're the kind of guy that needs that sort of education. I would like it to further myself, but brother, you need it.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
he speaks the truth. No, he is very wise. Just think, if you were to open yourselves, think, I've made Dixie and myself tag team champions. We are on the verge of making Jacob Creed heavyweight champion. If this podcast were to embrace the power of re-education, just think of how we could take your subscribers, take your numbers, grow them, move beyond, move from market to market. We could be up there rivaling some of the top wrestling podcasts in the world. Move over, Conrad Thompson. Get out of here, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
All except Bobby Munson is afraid of a little re-education.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Did I not start by the invitation here today? We called the episode Ring Respect Re-Education. I think I opened the door a touch.
This could be your first step.
Well, I'll take it in a high consideration because I do want the pod to be successful, and I do want to say out of here Conrad Thompson. Definitely want to say out of here Chris Jericho. To hell with him. I'll think on it.
See,
I'll do a little of this, right?
That's just it, Munson. You can't sit there thinking about it. You have to take re-education into your heart. See, I'm telling you guys right now, he'll be a difficult student because he thinks he's got it all figured out already.
Those are the worst kind.
Well,
yeah,
we've got ways. We have ways.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those ways have been inflicted on me before, and I still haven't learned yet. So, we'll see how it goes.
Exactly.
I mean, let's play a little rewind here for fun for a little bit, because going back to before Prairie Pro Wrestling time. Let's go back to a company named HIW. Bucky, I remember you from there. And in fact, one of my first encounters with you, you were such a nice, friendly man. I mean, there was a time when I was being held back. El Assassino was about to beat the living daylights out of me, and you came to my aid. You actually came and helped me out. And it's maybe one of the reasons that despite the change in attitude with Prairie Pro Wrestling, that maybe I haven't been as rude on commentary towards yourself and the Brotherhood as I am towards an El Assassino or something. But I do recall that. I do recall that there was that good in you, sir.
Of course there was. There was a time where my approach is to try to help everyone have a higher understanding were not as direct as they are now. A time before I truly got in touch with re-education. And yes, back then I wanted to be more understanding of people, more helpful. There are certainly benefits in kindness towards your fellow man. But in the time in between, experiences I've gone through, things change. The message needed to change. I needed to change. I needed to embrace re-education, and I needed a more direct line to prove those lessons to others. But certainly before that, absolutely, there are all sorts of different ways to spread a message. I think I was less effective back then. More effective in maybe saving one or two innocent people directly, but now I'm trying to save everyone and bring us together into a unity in professional wrestling.
Okay.
Wow.
I like it. Bob Smokes, back your way, sir.
Well, I can't help but think you bring up that example, Munson. You know that I love you and you're my brother in podcasting and commentary, but I still think you needed that re-education back then. You needed to be taught that lesson because you've never learned it since, and you still dance with the devil sometimes. And I worry about your future sometimes, Munson, because you don't learn and you've got that mouth on you sometimes.
I'm a man of the people, Papa Smokes. The people love me. The people want to shake my hand. They want to be nice to me. And if that means I have to take a kick to the face, if that means I have to be slapped around and beaten up 100,000 times, I'm going to go out there every goddamn time. And I'm going to put a smile on my face and I'm going to shake those hands and I'm going to give the people what they want because that's the kind of guy I am. I mean, if I have to get hurt in the process, I get hurt in the process. That's the danger I put myself in.
It's so backwards, Munson. You're really gonna regret that someday. I maintain that.
Yeah. Melball saying Bobby doesn't dance with me, Papa. So obviously Melball saying that she's the devil in this situation. And hey to Astrid joining us in the chat. Thank you for being here on a Thursday night. Gonna go back over to you again, Papa Smokes, and see if you got any more questions in chat. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Make sure you get your questions in if you got some more questions for our esteemed guest here tonight.
Okay, so what about the future, including this weekend at Storm Warning? What if it is the case that the Brotherhood ends up with all the belts and all the power in PPW? What will Prairie Pro Wrestling look like if that occurs?
It will look like a path of golden truth. Our message will be fully affirmed. If we can bring home all of the gold, it's time to take Prairie Pro Wrestling to the next level of re-education. A step that can only be secured once Jacob Creed brings back that heavyweight championship.
See, Papa Smokes, you said what if. There's no when. It's when this happens. It's going to happen. No matter what.
And okay, so when this happens, does the Brotherhood take this one step further outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling? Does the road of re-education go out there and spread itself across other places? Are you going to go out there and help out and save some of the other companies and their fans out there just as much as you're doing for Prairie Pro?
Re-education will go where re-education needs to go. We are open to, and some of us do work in other companies spreading the word of re-education.
In fact, quite often in Regina, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. I've been spreading re-education. Re-education started in Regina. After a shift in companies is when the revelation came to me that I needed to change my perspective. And I joined in a synergy with another competitor, and we took over this city for over 4 years until he messed it all up. But I continue with a new collective behind me to keep pushing re-education to the Regina fans just the same as I do to Saskatoon. And when the time is right, re-education may spread beyond the borders of Saskatchewan. Because the goal, as I said, is unity, not just in Saskatchewan wrestling, in all of pro wrestling. Everyone in pro wrestling, from the bottom to the top, they need their perspective shifted. And I am the only man that can bring that shift to pro wrestling.
All right.
If anybody needs if anybody needs re-education, it's the people of Regina. That's the best place to start right there.
That
Move
is
on to, yeah,
Oh, definitely.
100% why it happened. I will give Saskatoon fans that they are a smidge of a step higher than the Regina fans.
Isn't that like the age-old saying of saying taking two pieces of turd and saying one's a shinier? That's almost kind of what you're saying here amongst Regina and Saskatchewan or Saskatoon at the time.
I would never use such a crass comparison, but if that is what filters through for you, Munson, yes, we can go with that example. I'm a very precise man, precise measurement to categorize level of quality of fans.
Well, and many years of seeing them, so that as well too. Veteran status. So, all right, as we're coming to a close here, Pop Smokes, going back to you. Any last questions here for our esteemed guests?
yeah, I've got one more question, and it's simply talking about the fans of Saskatoon. What does the Brotherhood say to the fans of Saskatoon coming up on Storm Warning here this Saturday night?
I say, as always, prepare yourselves for another lesson in re-education. Every day, every moment is a chance to embrace the change in perspective, to make yourself better, to bring yourself closer to the path of truth, only to be obtained through re-education and through Wrestling's Smartest Man, Bucky McGraw.
All right. Dixie, your chance. Anything for the coming up this Saturday?
I mean, as one of Bucky's inflictors of re-education, I'm not sure he could have said it any better. We're going to continue down our path doing what we do best. So, whatever happens Saturday, we can probably blame PPW management for that.
Oh. And look what the storm warning just dragged in. Honk, honk, fellas. It's the Canadian Goose in the house. I heard there was a shindig going down in Saturday in Saskatoon. Looking forward to checking it out in person. I love Saskatoon wrestling fans. Wow, I didn't know you were coming out this weekend, this Saturday, man. I can't wait to see you there. Finally meet you in person. It'll be a great time. But yes, that's coming up this Saturday. Make sure you got your tickets. As always, the reserve seating, all 100% sold out. Reach out to us if you want to get those general admission tickets. There will be a limited quantity left at the door. So come on in, make yourselves heard, be loud, be obnoxious, drink lots of booze, do all your fun stuff the PPW crowd loves to do, and join us and have fun. We're going to go down to our guests to let the people know what kind of stuff you guys got coming up in your careers aside from this Saturday, what you got booked for matches, other companies that you're working with at the moment, and any of your socials you want to share out. Dixie, we'll start with you.
I don't have a whole lot actually for match wise coming up. I've kind of taken a lot of the summer off, graduations, wedding kind of stuff. Did just get a couple of matches there up north with All Canadian Wrestling. Looking for some future matches with them. Got PPW coming up. Got when's the one after this? Is August?
August 29th,
PPW?
if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
Yeah, it's something like that. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at the Dixie Dragon. And if I could remember what I have on Instagram, that would be great, but I honestly can't.
Fair enough. Over to you, Bucky.
You can catch Wrestling's Smartest Man, Bucky McGraw, on all Prairie Pro shows, including this upcoming Saturday, and then future shows for the rest of the year. In Regina, I am a staple with Ringside Wrestling. Our next show is July the 3rd. August, we typically run in Moose Jaw at DNA Cycle, usually in early August, and late at Sask Built Gym. And then come the fall, we will be back at the German Club the first Friday of every month. Keep an eye on Ringside Wrestling socials for the full dates and details. For following on social media, I am Bucky McGraw on Facebook. I do not do the terrible Twitter or the inferior Instagram, just Facebook.
Just the Facebook. All right. Well, Pop Smokes, why don't you let the people know where they can find you with that beautiful ticker up on the screen?
Well, Bucky, you're going to love this then, because I can be found on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as X. I am at smokes_papa, and also on Twitch, allegedly at least, at papa_smokes_.
That's where you can find Papa Smokes. As for myself, Bobby Munson, down below at Real Bobby Munson, at Video Bros SK. Find me across all social media, where you can find me here on the channel, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday. You can find me talking all about the weekend sports, including the experience from PPW Storm Warning, along with Andre C. on Point of View. You can catch myself and Papa Smokes running the commentary for Prairie Pro Wrestling every single Saturday on Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. Of course, the match coming out this weekend is in the tag division. It's Paralera versus T.Y. Jackson and Phil Deadly. Find out who comes out superior in that one. And yes, always support indie wrestling and Prairie Pro Wrestling, and also support this channel right here, OLE Podcast, where we are streaming on across all social media and on YouTube and Twitch, where we are partnered up. That means that you can go ahead, give us a sub on Twitch, or you share your Prime sub. That helps us out a lot too. Over on the YouTube side, if you subscribe to the channel, it's a big help. Give us a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and leave a comment in the comment section below. But as a partner, you can also leave us super chats and super stickers. That's going to help fund what we do here, so we can bring you more esteemed guests like the Brotherhood when we do these shows. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ring Respect Re-Education this time. And thank you very much to our esteemed guests, the PPW Tag Team Champions. Looking forward to seeing you guys this coming Saturday. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next Thursday night.